Hello, I'm Troy Martin, this is TM Fitness. Let's talk about strength training for endurance athletes. Right, this is about the, I don't know, 5th or 6th time I've filmed this because the lip sync keeps going because my camera's shit. Anyway, a lot of endurance athletes try to steer away from strength training because they think it's going to make them big and bulky and slow them down. That's not necessarily the case. Let's look at some of the evidence. So in 2014, Ronstead and Mujica did a nice big research review looking at all the available data that had been done on runners and cyclists using concurrent strength training. So that's when you run some strength training alongside your endurance training in the same training phase. What they found was pretty positive in favour of strength training. So the pros included running economy, cycling economy, increased phosphocreatine and glycogen storage, sprint speed went up, lactate threshold went up, and fatigue went down. The cons were muscle mass. Now, they did gain some muscle, but it was a small amount, and that's probably not going to be a problem for most of you. And then VO2 max was pretty much unaffected. But that's not a problem because you don't do strength training to increase your VO2 max. You do endurance training for that. So the running economy and the cycling economy was the most significant one. And that's probably because the phosphocreatine storage was increased and the utilization of that was kind of smarter, if you like. And phosphocreatine is one of the fuel sources that helps to create muscle contractions. Same with glycogen. Glycogen being the storage form of carbohydrate, very, very important for continued muscular contraction. You need glycogen to fuel your muscles. So if these two were being spared and your lactate threshold goes up and your time to fatigue goes up, that makes your economy and your fuel utilization more efficient, so your economy is better. Strength training makes you better at running, and cycling makes you able to ride or run for longer and faster. How to incorporate that? So the practical recommendations that they gave based on their research. You're looking at 2 to 3 sessions per week during an 8 to 12 week training phase. In some of the research it did say 6 weeks. But generally speaking, if you're looking at 8 to 12 weeks, that's when you're going to get the best strength gains. 2 sessions per week is probably optimal for most people, depending on how high your training volume is. Sets 2 to 3 and repetitions 4 to 10. So the lower you go with the repetitions, the higher the weight goes for more strength gains. And I put the brackets there next to that because the more sets and the more reps you do, the more your volume goes up and the more likely you are to build muscle. That's why for bodybuilding, we recommend 4 to 6 sets, 8 to 12 reps. And here we're saying 2 to 3 sets, 4 to 10 reps. So it's less sets, it's less reps, less likelihood to build muscle, but you're still getting some strength gains. Now, they did say that they were looking at max strength and explosive strength. So I'm going to explain that in a little bit more detail here. So when you're doing your 2 to 3 sessions a week, your 2 to 3 sets per exercise, and your 4 to 10 reps per set, you want to be training specific muscle groups and movements. So for most cyclists and runners, that's going to be legs and core. So you're looking at squats, deadlifts, lunges, some core work, maybe a little bit of upper body work just to stabilize the shoulders, particularly for runners. Runners often adopt this kyphotic posture, a lot of tightness through the chest and shoulders. So if you strengthen the upper back and the back of the shoulders, you can open the shoulders and chest up. It allows some more functional breathing. Use compound lifts for your max strength. Compound lifts being squats, deadlifts, pushes and pulls. And then that strength and explosive strength aspect comes into the tempo that you use. So you're looking for explosive concentrics and slow eccentrics. The concentric contraction is the shortening phase of the muscle, and the eccentric phase is the lengthening phase of the muscle. So you're looking for fast concentrics and slow eccentrics for more time under tension to get more strength gains. So an example of that would be doing squats, 3 sets, 6 reps at around 80% of your 1 rep max. And your tempo will be 0-3-0-X. X means explosive. So that means no pause at the top. You squat down slowly for 3 seconds, no pause at the bottom, and press up as quickly as you can. Now it says explosive. It's not going to be an explosive movement like, say, a burpee, because you've got 80% of your 1RM on your back. So you're going to be moving relatively slowly, but you're attempting to move that weight as fast as you possibly can, which is creating more speed of muscle contraction, which is where the explosive element comes in. So it's going to help improve your power as well as your strength. Okay, it's really, really simple, nice short video for a change. So that's how to incorporate concurrent strength training with endurance training for better performance in endurance sports. If you've got any questions, put them below, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you soon. Laters.